Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, big brother.
Walaikum salam.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Do you see me? Am I
yeah,
am I on the?
I see
Oh,
you.
okay, okay. Because I don't know what happened earlier. I think I was having a little technical difficulties. When me and one of the other guards was building earlier. But yes, sir. It's good to have you, big brother. Big brother Franklin. Yes,
Alamel,
sir.
Alamel.
Alamel, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alamel, yes, sir. I'm glad to have you on
You
here.
know,
I've been wanting to, get an interview with you, for some time, what I'm saying? And, I know we've been, talked about it and said we were going to do it, but we just could never get the times and everything, quite, aligned with each other, what I'm saying? But, and I was supposed to be really with Wakil, me and him was supposed to be, interviewing you together, but the guard wasn't able to join in, so I just said, what I'm saying, let me go ahead on and get you on here and at least get some of this good history from the elder, what I'm saying, one of
praise
the
be to
elders of the
Allah.
Muslim guards, what I'm
Praise be
saying.
to Allah.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
it's an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to share some of the history of myself. There's been many that has asked me, to do this. And I just, I'm not the type of person that run around looking to be interviewed. Let me just put it that way.
Right,
But
right, right.
I think at 73, it's time to share something, so that the young ones, you know, young man for war, the elder for counsel, old man for counsel, So I was just told that, so it reminded me why I had to, start doing, some interviews, So again, man, it's a privilege, God. I want to say assalamu alaikum to the nation of Islam, peace to the nation of 5%, which I'm a part of, always will be. I'm a Muslim God. When I went into the Nation of Islam in 1969, I'm
Okay.
just hitting some spots right now that I'm gonna let you.
Right.
You know what? Let me let you ask the
Well,
question.
well, well, yeah, since you right there, that was really one of the questions, that I was going to ask. So you could just, from right there, where you at right now, when did you first, get knowledge of self and, what attracted you to the teachings?
Well, I got knowledge of self in 1965. I was working in a barber shop. I came from the islands, and I was 12 years old, and I was I was staying in Medina, of course, and I was staying at 73 Grafton Street, and around the corner was a barber shop called Trinity. So,
Okay.
um, being from the island, our parents always told us, try to do something, to help yourself, because I'm not buying no expensive this, I'm not buying no expensive that, you know.
Hmm.
So, go and do something. So I went in the barber shop. I started there and cleaning the barber shop, making runs to the store for the brothers with the process. There was during that time in the 60s, that was something major.
Yes, sir.
So as a young man, I made a lot of money during the holiday seasons.
Mhm.
Memorial Weekend, 4th of July weekend, things like that. Most of the men would want their hair, you know, crisp and looking good. So,
Yes, sir.
I'm from there. It continued. I learned how to process. I learned how to wash the hair first. Just giving you a little history. I learned
Mhm.
how to wash the hair. Then I learned how to do half trace. The side of the
Mhm.
hair.
Mhm.
I wash hair for a while. Anyway, the they moved to Sutter Avenue and then Central, right across the L train, right
Yes, sir.
there.
Push work. Yes,
Van
sir.
Cent- yeah. So um, I was there doing what I regularly do, and someone walks in, Man, listen, man, there's a crazy dude down the block, talking about his God, Allah, someone, he couldn't, pronounce, Allah, something he was saying. I said, what? So to me, I was always interested in something beyond, somebody saying they're God, that sparked something in me.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I was always inquisitive, so I stopped what I was doing and I went down the block between Williams and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got there, God, I missed Allah. They said he was Allah. So what happened though? He gave there was an earth. Well, she became an earth, but
Mm-hmm.
a sister that she had the lessons. So I said, no, sister, you got to let me have that. I'm going to study it, and then I'll let you, have it back. So on and so forth. Anyway, that's what I did. I took the lessons,
Mm-hmm.
and I went home. I lived on 658 Hinsdale Street, between Linden Boulevard and New Lots. Between New Lots and Linden Boulevard,
Now he's in
658.
East New York now.
Yeah, East New York, yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, I moved from, Brownsville,
I'm from Medina too. I'm from BK, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Flatbush, Coney Island.
All right, all right.
Yes, sir.
I hit all those spots. We're gonna get into that.
Yes, sir.
So whilst I was doing studying, I studied for God days. I studied for
Mm-hmm.
7 straight days, and I bugged out. I
Mm-hmm.
was born universal God. They call it bugging out. BUG. That's born universal God, right? So
Yes, sir.
after that time, man, I went in the street acting a fool, man, saying I can't die. That whole crazy stuff at a young age. The 120 blew my head.
Yeah.
But I was able to survive being bugged, being
Right.
born God at that time. Again, it's the beginning of this new culture of the young people learning that the black man is God. So anyway, I continued, studying and trying to finish school, high school. So I
What
went
what
in.
high school did you go to?
I went to Canarsie High School.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
to
One of my
Canarsie.
nephew went to Canarsie.
Uh,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was one of the.
Canarsie and Sheepshead Bay,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
high school over there. Two of my nephews.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I started in 1963. The opening of the school from 63 to 66 was the first graduating class. But what happened, I was always getting a bad cold, God.
Mm-hmm.
No doctors was able to diagnose it for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to stay home with a dry cough.
Mm-hmm.
Dry cough. So eventually, cod liver oil was what I needed because I had what they call it, a pulse within myself that was, I guess, dry, and it
Mm-hmm.
needed moisture.
Right.
To make a long story short, I passed all my grades because I was kind of an intelligent young man, at
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you miss over a certain amount of days in gym, you didn't pass. You had to take it
Mm-hmm.
over in the summertime. And
Right.
by that time, let me just share this.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, I'm shooting pool because there was on the corner of my house is a pool room called Miss B. So
Mm-hmm.
I went in there, learning how to, clean up, making money.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the barber shop is a place during that time. I want to deal with the barber shop because a lot came out of the barber shop.
Mm-hmm.
came out of the barbershop was me learning how to be a master cheater in dice and cards, right?
Mhm.
So I made literally, you know, imagine, imagine you couldn't lose. See, now, I don't know, man, who might see this and want to come back at me, man. So I better be very careful here. But yeah, no, it's not. I'm serious. I'm serious, you know,
Yeah.
because man, I mean, I beat a lot of people. You had
Yeah.
three kind of hustlers. This is at a young age, God. You know,
Mhm.
I learned something from this brother named Slim, Tall
Mhm.
Slim. Tall Slim taught me how to deal seconds with the deck of cards. You know how to hit people different hands, and on Fifth Street have the winning hand. You know,
Mhm.
so then I learned how to switch dice. I said, "Oh my goodness, well I'm going to get rich here." You know, and I did in a way. You know, I became best dressed 2 years running in Medina. They had because one time this brother beat me because he used to wear the the the, the, the nice hats. You know, he was
Mhm.
a hat wearer where I wasn't wearing hats at that time.
Mhm.
And so
How old were you around it? You were about 15,
we're
16,
talking about
17?
16, 17. We're talking
Okay.
about 16, 17.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I got silk and shark skin um, pants with high waist, different color, you know, with 2 buttons or 3 buttons. You know, I started a trend. Me and this brother named Richie.
Okay.
Richie is still alive too. Richie,
Okay.
okay. And matter of fact, he started it. You know,
Mhm.
but being that we was best friends, you know, he said, "Man, come on, let's go to Layton's." We there was a store on Pickens Avenue. What's the name of it, man? That made clothes. It might come back to me. Anyway, I learned how to wear mohair suit from the barbers.
Mhm.
Reuben and Leroy was what you call deacons, right? And they sang in the church. And
Mhm.
I'm saying a lot, you know, in a short time, but
Mhm.
I used to carry their guitars, you know, to
Mhm.
church sometime. But I had to be clean, so
Right.
they bought me my first very expensive suit. You're not going to believe it, but I think, matter of fact, I still got it. Okay, no,
Mhm.
seriously, that suit today would cost, you know, so much money because of it's lamb's wool. It was a lamb's wool suit. Okay,
Oh,
you familiar with lamb's wool?
yes, sir. Yeah, that's not cheap.
Okay, okay. So anyway,
Wow.
so these are the things that I did. So I became a pool shark. I became a
Mhm.
crop player. I
Mhm.
became a card shop, crop player, pool shark.
Mhm.
Miss B in her pool room. I'm just gonna deal with the pool room right now.
Mhm.
I used to. She used to say, Frankie. At that time, my name was Fast Frankie. Matter of fact, I had developed this name, Fast Frankie. That's the
Fast Freddy.
Yeah, Fast Frankie. That's the name
Okay. Fast Freddy.
everybody know me by, you know, at that time because
Mhm.
I was fast. You know,
Right.
I mean, I moved fast. You know, so they
Yeah.
call me Fast Frankie. So anyway, there used to be a lot of police officers coming to the pool room to
Mhm.
play to gamble, right? And what happened, I got so good that the owner, Miss B, her name is Miss B,
Mhm.
she got a book out too. And
Mhm.
I'm definitely in the book. But
Mhm.
she said, okay, why don't you I you play, I bet on you. You better not lose, you know. So I used to shoot against some of the players that used to come there to gamble, and I used to win. I used to win
Wow.
money for her, you know, for her and her husband. I didn't really make no money. But
She didn't break you off, nothing?
yeah, she broke me up a little something, because
Oh, okay.
my old earth made sure that, she
Yeah,
do it on
oh
her
yeah.
own. She can't.
You know, sister's gonna make sure.
Yeah, man, she wasn't playing. So
Yes, sir.
that's some of the things that I did. Yeah,
So a lot of knowledge as far as like, in the barbershop, you mentioned it was a lot of conversation and, you
exactly.
know,
You
mhm,
learn everything. You learn about the pimp game. At one time I
mhm,
did a little something, something. I'm not gonna go there, but um,
mhm,
I had sisters that really looked out for me.
mhm, mhm,
I put it that way. Uh,
mhm.
I did a lot, man, and I survived. You know, that's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah.
So that's really what proved to me that you know.
Mhm, mhm.
So I learned everything in that barbershop, man. So you
Yes, sir.
got three types of hustlers, of gamblers.
Mhm,
You got what you call a jet wise. You got the hustler. The hustler,
mhm,
he books. He books mostly in the crab game.
mhm,
You know,
mhm,
he books. He got the bank, so he be booking. Then
mhm,
you got the second level, which is the jet wise. The jet wise is somebody that know a little something,
mhm,
you know. And if if me and my crew not there, they wins the money. But when we come in, we was called the I forgot the name. That's why I try to leave that stuff alone. But um,
You had your own little crew, basically.
yeah, we would win. We would win. So yeah, the bookie, you got the bookie, the jet wise, the one that knew a little about the cheat, then you got you got us. Okay.
Mhm,
That way.
mhm, mhm.
Anyway,
Wow.
um, during that time though, drugs came in the picture. You know,
Mm.
the use of
What in particular? Heroin? What kind of drug?
heroin,
Heroin was big at that time. Yes,
heroin
sir.
to start.
Mm,
Um, I was at a game on Sheffield.
mm.
Yeah, on
I used to live on Sheffield.
yeah.
Yeah, me, yeah. I was on New
New
Lots.
Lots.
No, I was on Sheffield between New Lots and Hegeman.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you,
that was me and my first wife when I lived. I was back in like 93, 94.
mm,
Shortly before I moved out of New York. That's why I was living at New York, in East New York over there.
all right,
You know what I'm
all
saying?
right.
Yes, sir.
Good. Anyway,
Mhm,
I had just won, the money, in the crab game. Me and my partner.
mhm,
And this brother, man, he saw that. So, his thing was, hey, man, yeah, listen, man, I got something to make you all feel, real nice, man. I can hook you all up. So we said, okay, let's try. Of course we're going to try it. We're young and stupid,
mhm,
got a
mhm,
pocket full of money. So
mhm,
we gave him some money, and he gave us some of this thing. He said, well, listen, we said, well, we didn't know how to use it. We said, well, what do
mhm,
you do? He said, well, you can sniff it, you can skin pop it, or you can mainline, right?
mhm,
So first we sniffed it, you know.
mhm,
We said shit. We wanted to be faster. So the
mhm,
next time we ran into the dude, we told him, why don't you show us, when did why don't you show us how to do the other thing, you know?
mhm,
So he was glad of that, because now
mhm,
he done recruited us into this game of
mhm,
using drugs, man. That's what they did at that
mhm,
time. Anyway,
mhm,
um, his name was John L. His name was John L. I'll never forget him. Uh,
mhm,
so he showed us how to skin pop, and then
mhm,
eventually we learned how to mainline. Which
mhm,
myself, and my partner Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Jefferson. I went to
Mm-hmm.
Kumasi. He
Okay.
he was a good ball player too. That was his thing. He always had a basketball. He played good ball. Me, I was a good crap player, dice player, and I played
Mm-hmm.
basketball too, though.
Mm-hmm. So you pretty much like it was before leaving high school you got the knowledge, or it was after
No,
you left?
I got the knowledge in '65. That was during high school. Remember,
Okay.
I went to high
Okay.
school from '63 to '66.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, I was hanging out, working in the barber shop, doing this,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I had to do, man, to make
Mm-hmm.
some change, and that's what happened with that. So eventually, what I did, I think from that, of course, when I learned about people getting hooked on it, you know, hey, I said no, that's not for me. Me and this brother named Bobby. Bobby was very good with the with his hands, with the craps. You know how,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, like I was telling you before, I used to get sick. So one day I wasn't with Bobby. Bobby went to the bar. He went to the bar on Livonia, and Herzl. Yes, no, Strauss. And we was always sharp talkers, you know, and so he used to beat every payday. He won this guy money, and the guy told him, man, if I ever catch you, because I know you're doing something, if I ever catch you, Bobby said, man, get the hell out of here, man. A blind man shouldn't come to no crap game, you know, because in other words, the one that knows how to get your money is going to get it. So anyway, make a long story short, Bobby won all his money.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby took his woman. She was the barmaid. The guy went home or wherever he went, came back with a pistol and killed my friend. Okay, that's the first time, man, I witnessed death. You know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody I know, just getting killed. So that put me on high. I said, wow, shit, because when you're young, you're not afraid of nothing. You're not scared you get caught. That doesn't even phase you, man. But Bobby lost his life. If I was with him, I think I would have told him, let's walk away. But
Yeah.
he,
Yeah. Try to prevent it.
he stayed there. Stayed there. So then that,
That was around the time when the youth was beginning to get a little vicious, I guess you could say. Not they weren't
yeah,
as vicious yet back in the mid and late 60s, but the killing had kind of began, with people using, that heroin, that, shooting up that junk, as they used to call it
exactly,
back then,
exactly.
or that boy,
That's that
but
boy.
yeah, like 20 years later, like around my era,
Mm.
see, you like 20 years, before me, because around what, 65, you said 67 through 69 or whatever, with me around like 87, 88, 89, when I was
Mm.
17, 18, 19,
Right,
it was real. It got super violent then because, of course, now you have the advent of crack cocaine.
right, right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And now we get all of these killers in the hood who had God body names, Law
Yeah, yeah,
Justice
yeah.
and
There was
his
yeah.
son and all these
Oh,
dudes. And these dudes was vicious killers, and
Ak-
because of
Akbar.
the drug.
Yeah, at that time, my attribute was to bar.
To bar.
Yeah, it,
Mm,
it, it,
yeah.
it should be recorded, in history. The bar.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yeah.
truth for law,
So,
born
we're
universal rule.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let me ask you. So the name Tabar, when you got that name, were you with the Five Percenters? Were you, in the
No,
mosque at this?
I was a 5%.
So you basically got knowledge yourself first with the five
But most
percenters,
definitely. And
right? And then eventually went into the Mosque, Nation of
I
Islam.
ran into the mosque when the father told us, he said, for all
Hmm.
those that feel that they need discipline, which I needed it
Hmm.
very badly, he said, y'all can
Hmm.
go to the temple. You know, we do
You were one of those brothers who the father sent
right,
back to the mosque.
right, to the temple.
Right, right. Because we hear about that, the father actually sending brothers who were too out of control back into the mosque for that manhood training.
Right, exactly.
So
That's
you were
just for the
basically one of those
discipline.
individuals.
Right. So I was
Right.
one of those brothers. That word came from Mecca
Mm,
to Medina. You know, it wasn't direct, but I got the word, and I fell in. There was a brother, one of the top brothers then was his name was Allaman,
mhm,
Allah
mhm,
MAN, right? And
mhm,
he was a master. Then you had mathematics, pure mathematics,
mhm.
right? He spit. He used to spit 120 like it wasn't nothing.
Right.
So those brothers. Let me take you into when I busted. I get busted
Mhm, mhm,
in 68, I believe it was.
mhm.
Yeah, because yes, because I ran into Ubika in Atlantic Avenue. You know, Ubika became an imam before he passed recently. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
2 years ago. Sad situation. But anyway, so whilst I was also there was what you call the first Muslims. So
Mm,
understanding Allah came to myself and say, "Yo, God, you know, I heard you come in here, talking, like you know something. Do you have any plus lessons?" I said, "What is that?" He said, "Oh, I can take you, beyond 120."
mhm.
So he gave me an example of the 130. Tell us how Allah created the sun and above, how Allah created the moon, or how Allah created the stars, so forth and so on. So he said, would you like to, um, move ahead
Mhm,
and become a first Muslim, right?
mhm.
I said, sure, anything. I'm in Atlantic Avenue, and I ain't got nothing else to do, but learn what I could learn, if it come my way. That's how that started. And
So real quick, who were the first Muslims exactly? For those who don't know.
the first Muslims would call themselves the gods of the universe, otherwise known as first Muslim, otherwise known as God of the universe. Now, um, they were what is called gods that was advanced. There was a god named Robert Walker who wrote, advanced lessons, you know, and you had a brother by the name of Allahmal Allah who became my knowledge seed, right? We went by that. He he went to Boys High, bad, bad,
Mhm.
bad, bad ball player, right?
Boys and Girls High School?
Boys High, Boys High School.
Boys
Yeah,
High? Where's that? That's in
yeah,
Brooklyn?
that's in Brooklyn. That's in Medina. You never heard of Boys High School?
Mm-mm, Boys High School. I heard of Boys and Girls High School.
Yes,
That's in Best Side.
yeah,
That's on.
yeah. No, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Further, I'm leaving some things out, but yeah. Anyway, he was one of the 13. Make a long short story short, I studied some of the plus lessons, and then word came Robert Walker. There was one of the archangels' name was Allahmal, Allahamel, Allah, and he was put out of the community. So that's where I came to be the 13th archangel born from the first Muslims, otherwise known as God of just, the universe. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, now I'm an archangel, I'm a 5%. I'm
Mm-hmm.
whatever knowledge come my way, I'm accepting.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the type of God that just stayed in one cipher. I
Mm-hmm.
was able to go in every cipher.
Right, right. So because I've been hearing like like your name, Wakil, they always calling y'all names, and they like, yeah, Alamel, back then with the wisdom bodies or with the Robert Walker and da 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 da. But you're saying that there was actually two Alamels. It wasn't just you. It was another Alamel.
There was the other Allahmal. His name was spelled with an E-L at the end. My name is spelled with A-L.
Okay,
The
okay,
E-L, the
okay.
one that was E-L was put out of the community. He was no longer
Mhm.
accepted within the archangels.
Why was he put out?
I never knew. I never really knew
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
happened, but I know
Right.
I was asked, and then I was also said, well, you take on the name, but you spell your name A-L instead of E-L. You know,
Who told you to take on the name? Someone.
that
Uh,
was that was understanding Allah. That was understanding
okay.
Allah.
Okay. Okay.
And
So basically, Robert Walker, how does he relate to the father? Like, did he meet the father
oh yeah,
personally? And
most
I've heard
definitely,
different stories, but
most definitely.
right,
There was in what's the name of that penitentiary?
not one.
Manawan together,
Yes, sir.
and was the wisdom body was very very sharp. He used to
Hmm.
bomb him and the archangel, being that they was so advanced in knowledge, there was you know they used to bomb whoever tried to come at them. So the
Hmm.
father told him, like the father was Allah was knowledge. Allah was the knowledge.
Hmm.
So Robert Walker became the wisdom body. All right, and he told uh, Allah and the knowledge body told his his babies, you know, don't mess with those guys because they in space somewhere. Something.
Hmm.
This is what he told them. Leave them alone. You know, let
Right,
them do what they
right,
do. So anyway, so
right.
that's how that
I heard stories about that too. Different variations of it, but yeah, that was one of the, where I think the father said something about leave those brothers alone because they building on a
I remember.
high type science. But I think the father said something about if you stay grounded in the mathematics, or what I'm saying, you could at least be able to hold your own or whatever. What I'm
Yeah.
saying. But at the end of the day,
No,
go ahead.
let me say you had brothers that was in there when in other penitentiaries like Greenhaven, Attica,
Mm-hmm.
Comstock. You had brothers like Allah Allah. You had Organic Allah. You have Imminent Allah who used to be in Osney. Okay, Imminent was the Imminent Allah was the highest of the archangels. Was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be the highest of the archangels. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so during Ramadan, then they used to have their feast. That was a way to for for brothers and sisters to come up, more than and
Mm-hmm.
to visit, but on the outside, and we would feast, you know. So Eminent was a very small brother,
Mm-hmm.
very very small brother. But man, he was small, but he was, you know, mathematically, man, he was something else.
Spit,
He was
spit. Now,
He
fire.
was like, yeah, definitely. So then I went to Attica. Now, yeah, at this time, I'm
Mm-hmm.
working. I'm working for Mayor Lindsay on 1257 East New York, East New York, right? As
Mm-hmm.
a machine operator.
Mm-hmm.
So so I used to make copies of the lessons. So most of the lessons that was going to the penitentiary during that time was I was sending them. A lot, a
Coming
lot
through
of people
you.
don't know that.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't realize that because when I send lessons to, Gala or understanding, they would pass lessons out to the students, whether they became first Muslim or they went towards the 5%. Now
Mm-hmm.
I it was I found a book
Mm-hmm.
named Seven Speeches.
Yes, sir. Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that.
when I finished that book, I said, man, if a man can speak like that to the to the powers that be, to the educated,
Mm-hmm.
to the scholars, you know, I says, I got to go and see what's going on with that, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I
Mm-hmm.
started going. I started going to the temple even more after what when we were sent into the temple just for the discipline. That was
Mm-hmm.
just to go there, get some discipline, and man, leave that alone. But I went back, and I finally got my ex in 1969, May 1969. Yeah,
Wow.
I got my ex. That's after.
So that the same year the father was killed.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you ever meet the father personally or knew him
I
or?
saw the father and justice, like in the bar, and when we as his babies wanted to, come and talk to him, he used to tell us, go somewhere and teach, you know, like so we never was able to communicate with him personally. He had his own crew that he dealt with at that,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, the nine,
Yes, sir.
the first nine born, of course, you know, they had
Mm-hmm.
access to him, you know, if
Mm-hmm.
like those that was born in equality culture in 1964, they met the father, personally. And then in Pilon, there's a few brothers like Allah Freedom and Hakeem, close friends of mine, close guards that knew the father personally. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
and me and those brothers, it's pretty pretty good till today. You know, I do a
Yes,
lot,
sir.
do
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
community work. So
Mm-hmm.
but before we get to that point, after I
Mm-hmm.
got my ex, let me just go back a little bit to I had taken the police department test in '68 when I was when I
Mm-hmm.
was with Marlon CDs with Mayor Lindsay. I took that test, took a few of the tests. They made us take, took a few of the tests. The first result that came out was the PD test. So okay, now, damn man, I'm going to the academy, right? I passed the
Mm-hmm.
test with flying colors. I got 10 points for being in the
Mm-hmm.
program, so I'm going to the academy. Me and this gangster brother, man, that used to drive a brand new, what do you call that? A Q, yeah, a Q something. I don't know what number, but
Q45.
no, it wasn't a Q45. It was one of those. It was bigger than that. It was a big Q. It was a big Q.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
blue and gold, like. Anyway, so me
Mm-hmm.
and him in we in the academy and getting high. going to the bathroom. This is all of this time with Mala City, with the mosque, the whole 9 yards, but we're still doing our little dirt. So we know that we gotta take the medical soon, right? After we finish our training, you take your medical, then you get appointed. Yeah. But they called me to deal with my appointment, and they took the urine test and everything. And of course, I know it was going to come. It came back, positive, of course. So what they was doing then was they were saying, okay, what we will do, we will make sure we clean you up, and then you will become a narcotics detective. That was the plan, right? I said, shit, now they want me to, bust all my friends, because that's what he would be doing, you know. So one brother, man, he did it. He went that route. And I used to meet him in the shooting gallery. He used to come. I wanted to blast him, sometimes, man. But I said, man, I can't. He got high because he had to get high. But he would not mess with none of us. In the area that he got high, he didn't work that area because, of course, everybody knew him. Basically. So he didn't work that area. And so, okay, where we at now? We at 69. I got my ex. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he really didn't want no believers becoming officers if they are not officers. In other words, if you're not a police officer now, you shouldn't become one. And that was my dilemma also. Even though the situation with the drug situation. So I said, you know what? I'm not bump the police department. I'm gonna stay, because now I'm really into the lessons, man. I'm reading Message to the Black Man, Fall of America. Like I said, I started with 7 speeches, man. That got me hooked. Got me.
That's what got the fire brewing, or the
brother,
water
that got me
brewing.
hooked. So anyway, I got clean. I used to always get clean, like say every 2 months, I would I would stop, and get clean. But okay, so back to I'm in the mosque. I reject the police department appointment. Now I'm good, I mean, shit. Next thing I know, man, they send me a letter. It says, since you refused your appointment with the police department, you are now drafted into the United States Army. I said, shit, not me. Yeah, right? So so they got me, but I had to go. I went to Fort Hamilton. I figured I'll show them my tracks. I'll tell them that I'm God, and they deny me like they denied Muhammad Ali. But the time that, like, by the time I went there and did that, they was hearing that so much. They said, go see the site. The site gonna clear you, and you going in. You going to Fort Dix. I said, damn, man. I said, how am I gonna get out of this shit now, right? So they got us on the bus.
Fort Dix is now, I think, federal prison.
Let me tell you about Fort Dix. Shirley Chisholm, we'll get to that. There's a lot of things that happen, but on the way to Fort Dix, I think there was a break, a bathroom break or something. They stopped. Shit, I get it, right? I said, no, I ain't going to no army. I'm not going. So I leaves. But next thing I know, the MPs, they came, they found me, and I don't know how they found me, but they found me and they brought me back. And I got on the bus and I ended up at Fort Dix. Now, this is the killer. I went to Charlie 1 C13. Charlie 13 was my, area of training. So I said, you know what? I said, I'll go ahead and train because I like, I said, I like training.
Right,
Yeah,
training.
I said,
Yeah.
yeah, let me go ahead and train. So I trained. I was training, did night fire, day fire, passed everything. And now me being sharp like I was recommended for officers class. Oh shit! Now they, you know, so
Mm.
what you gonna do? You can't tell them no. So I goes to the class. I starts the class, but I said I know
Mm.
I'm not gonna fulfill it. Because once you become this is 1970. I get drafted, like I told you. Once I refused the police department appointment in April of 1970 is when I got drafted. So to make a long
Mm.
story short, I'm in training. I go to officers class, and that's why I've been an officer all damn near all my life in the nation. Also, I just had that leadership, skills and mentalities.
Yes,
I was
sir.
just that was just me. So
Yes, sir.
I'm in the class. So I said, now how am I going to get out of this? Because I'm not going to Fort Polk.
Mm.
They're going to send me to Fort Polk
Mm.
for advanced training, and then you go into NOM. It was simple as that.
Mm.
Okay, you being trained to go to NOM and have a battalion under you, yeah, as an officer. Anyway, I never going to NOM. I'm not going to NOM. Them people ain't did nothing to me, man. I had the same attitude as as Ali, as Huey, all that. So I get my I had a daughter born. I had a daughter born in 1970.
Mm.
Right, right. I had a daughter
Mm.
born. So now I'm asking for a pass to go see my daughter. They said, well, I took out. I was sending the sister, the earth. I was sending the earth. The what you call those things you pay for. What's the name of those things? And they put it in the bank like a certificate, right? Anyway, so I said,
Mm.
well, y'all take the money every month, sending it to my daughter's mother, and you tell me I can't go and see my child? They said, no, you're not married. You're not legally married. So they won't allow me to go. So you know what I did? I went AWOL. What else am I
Mm.
doing? That that began like, oh man, how many specification of AWOLs I got? Uh, Many specification,
Oh, a
yeah,
whole lot.
with 5 court-martial, right? I'm getting court-martial for nothing because now what happened being that I refused to become an officer, they sent me in this company to try to process me out of the military because I said I want out. I want out.
Mm.
So they say, well, you are mentally schizophrenic. I got all the names, all the names. And one day I like to
Mm.
show you the records so you can see it for yourself. I had 2 discharges approved. I had a
Mm.
general 2A and a general 2B. The A is a psychological one, mental one, and the B is you have a condition, and for the good of the service, they're letting you out with that discharge. All right,
Mm.
but there's a but there. Born University true.
Mm.
I'm in a company that's deserters, killers, right? There's a special area where all the rejects went. All the whatever you did, bad, there was one of us there, right? So I said, man, I can't live. It's not me. I'm God, right? So that was the thing with me. I'm God. I told the lieutenant. I used to tell him all that. So anyway, yeah, man. I said, okay, well, I was in the stockade. I stayed in the stockade. Most of my time in the army, I was in the stockade for 20, yeah, 26 months. Yeah, 2 years and a couple of months. Trying to get out. But let me just give you a history of what happened whilst I'm teaching. I'm teaching all this time. So now the brothers that has been taught, they're not gonna let the MPs and them send me straight to, down south to get shipped to Nam. I'm waiting to go in the stockade, and the plan was, I'm in the name of Allah. Let's remember that name. Right? Check the records. I'm in the name of Allah. I got it on my pen. Allah. They thought I'm crazy. Shit. So anyway, I kept missing my discharge, and looking back, man, if I would have been being paid, for the rest of my life, I would have got a lot of money, but I couldn't go for it. So, okay, I'm in the stockade. Who was it? Bila, the father's son. I never hear nobody mention that one of his sons was in the military.
Oh, okay. He was in there with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ended up in the stockade for doing some crazy shit. And I told him, I said, man, listen, I'm not staying here because now, after my various court martial from the beginning to about a year going through all the bullshit, 1971, I said, man, I'm getting the hell out of here. They said that I would get 13 years. I would go to I was going to Leavenworth for 13 years. That was the minimum they was going to give me because of all my specifications and all my court. I had 5 court martials. Who do you know had 5 court martials? Allahmal. I was getting court martial for being AWOL a couple of days. They didn't give it. Yeah. Oh man, I had a lieutenant. He had it for me, man. He just hated me so. He hated me so bad that he would do any. Name was Carmichael, Lieutenant Carmichael. Look him up, Lieutenant Carmichael. Okay, yeah, I want to look him up anyway. See if he's still alive. Lieutenant Carmichael. Wow, why did you refresh my memory of this cat, man?
He didn't like you at all.
Man. So he would send me to the stockade for nothing. So then I was teaching. So the chaplain, I was also being in solitary a lot. I like being in solitary. I'll be by myself. I can study. I did what I had to do. So, but every 7 days, the chaplain had to come and see you. See if you're all right. At nighttime, the shift at night had some white boys, man. They had it for me. I would know when they're coming. You hear click, click, click. They're coming straight to my cell when they came on the shift, right? They were in the midnight shift. They're gonna come to me and say, did you eat your food? I said, no, y'all putting pork on there, man. Y'all know I ain't eating that shit, you know. So I was like that. So when the chaplain came, I used to tell him, I said, listen, man, they refused to feed me according to my diet. Right.
Special
You
diet.
know?
Yeah.
So he would jump on it and make sure that they give me the right, foods to eat.
So they didn't like you because of like you was going
Yeah,
around teaching and teaching other black men in God, or they just didn't like you because of your attitude
I
or
was
your
I was looked at as a troublemaker, and those that know, and I had too much influence on the brothers. We used to call that brother me's, hey brother me, we give ourselves the dap, blah, 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 click, 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 damn, that was our dap. So anyway, I used to always be in the front when we used to go to the mess hall for child. I used to do the stockade shuffle. We all did, your left, right, three, four, three, four, and I'm doing my thing in the front, me and the person next to me. So when Dave was talking about this 13 years in Leverer, I said, I'm not staying here. I got to go. I got to go. I got to figure out how to get the hell out of here. So May 1971.
that was
No,
when you
I
got
didn't get
released.
released. No.
Oh,
Listen to what happened. Memorial weekend coming up. The Tower Guards is going to be short. Allahmal is getting out of there. Allahmal is not staying in the stockade. So we marching, right? Going to the mess hall. I'm in the sentence barracks. Most of the time I'm in the sentence barracks, which is over here. We go this way,
right.
then we go this way, then we go this way, and this way. The mess hall is here, right? So when you come this way, the move was column left, move, right? You're doing column left, you're going to your left. You're making a left turn, right? So I talked it out. Some brothers gonna go through the baseball field, to take attention. They're gonna get caught. They ain't going nowhere. They know I'm getting out of there though. Allah is getting out of there. So when I said column left, boom, I'm going straight now. I'm moving. There's a parolee barracks over the fence a few yards away. So I'm getting, and I know that I gotta go over this fence with three leaps. The tower guard that's going to be firing at me is all the way at the end. Okay, I know that that's the one that's on, and the other one is nowhere where he can get to me. Cause so I'm running. I hit the fence. One. I'm hearing pow, pow.
They're
Yeah,
already shooting at you.
I'm not getting hit. I know because the distance, it would be hard. It would be hard to hit me, So I go 1, 2, 3. I'm over, right? I'm over the fence. I run straight to the parolee barracks. I snatch a rabbit. Oh yeah, we call the white boys rabbit. I snatch a rabbit. I said, man, take that uniform off right quick. I said, you can wear mine. I take, I get his uniform, put it on. It's all out alert for, Allah. Yeah, that's how they call it. They say, Allah, Allah escape, Allah escape.
Everybody
Right,
looking for
exactly,
Allah.
exactly. So what happened? I goes through the town. The first town you get to is Rice Town, right? So when I get there, and remember now, it's a Memorial Weekend. The officers, they're gonna be partying, so a band got to come on come on post and play, right? So I meet them, and I said, okay, I know damn well I can't get out now. I'm going to go back on post incognito. I'm saying that I'll be, I'm not going to be seen. So, but let me tell you how I get the band to allow me to be part of the band to go back. I snatches the mind of one of the sisters, right? I says, I told her who I am. I'm God. I started explaining who she is. You're the mother of civilization. You must learn your history, blah, 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 blah. So I mesmerized her and snatched her mind. Then she had to tell the one in charge of the band, oh, my boyfriend, he's coming with me. All of a sudden, she got a boyfriend with me. So anyway, it worked. I goes back. Now, it's hard to believe this, but those that was there know that this is what happened. No,
You
this is
can't
how.
make this stuff up, like they say.
I goes back to the officers club with the band where they're gonna be, partying. They're gonna be playing for the officers, and the officers gonna be partying. Now the MPs is officers, right? Some of them. So, but I have their mind, you know. So I'm coming in with the band like that, A couple of the MPs, what? Allah, they're looking for you. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here. So I goes in the dressing room, and I'm chilling, right? Knowing that it was what, two of them saw me. But the two that saw me, I knew they ain't gonna give me up, So I goes in the
Right.
dressing room and I'm hanging out, chilling. Oh, now the sister, she just want more, she want me to feed her now, Oh, come on, what could you tell me some more? You sound so good, I said, yeah, listen, but I got to get, I got to get out of here, I said, okay, when it's over, I'm going to be going back with y'all. And when I get back, I need for somebody to get me to the path, like the train, whatever that was. So that's when I'm on the run. I sell a pound of weed to some white boys that they're looking for the white boys on post. They was buying weed to sell. So I became the seller right quick to get this money so that I can make my way out of here. So I goes behind the bar and I grabs a bunch of dirt with grass and I put it in a bag and I tell them, listen, don't touch, don't make no move with this bag until you get out of town. You understand? So I get my money and I'm gone. All right.
No.
So I remember when we had in the early days when Allah said we had to go to school. Me and Lindsay had gave us a bus, and there was a college tour, and I remember that Duma Duma had, matter of fact, was the first, ended up being the first graduate, as the guard. So he was in Massachusetts, right? So I guess I goes to Massachusetts. I stays with the guard, right? I stayed with the guard. So the guard said, what you doing, man? You can't. You got to obey the laws, man. You know what the law told us. I said, man, listen. I can't do that. I can't go and do time like that. I said they got to catch me when they can. But I'm not volunteering. I'm some kind of way I'm going to get out of this shit. Because they made me. This is what they made me a dope fiend. I lost my mind, because I'm Allah, so they think I'm crazy anyway. So I stays with the God, Duma, man, a great God, man. He kept his lessons a certain way. I never seen nobody do that. He had access to every area of campus in Massachusetts. So I used, I rolled with him, because I'm his roommate. So he said, "Come on, God, I gotta take you back because before I became Allahmal, I was Gamel. Right. I was Gamel.
Okay.
I was Gamel. Yeah.
Gamel. You got that name with the seven angels with the wisdom body, or
God,
or
the God Allah gave me that attribute. Yeah, with the archangel, Godmal, Gamel. That's how it's sound, but spelled Godmal. So then that's when after a while they said it don't make sense to have God and you are Allah, so put Allahmal. That's how I got Allahmal. And then and they said, yeah, they gave me the reason why it was the father said, which was Robert Walker, the great God of wisdom. See, he had many names. God victorious Allah was one of his major attributes. God victorious. Right.
Robert Walker.
Okay. Wisdom body, that type of thing. But so after being in there with Duma for a little while, I knew that I couldn't stay there because I'm not registered for no classes. What the hell I'm doing on campus. Anyway, I leave and I goes to Medina. Right? I goes to my old earth house on Hinsdale. At this time, we in Hinsdale. So she said, Franklin, again, I told her I was coming from the island of West Indian, accent. Franklin, you're going
Which country?
Dominica. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Small island. So, Franklin, you're going to get yourself killed. There was some, she said, there was some, police. I don't know what they call themselves a different name than the police, but they're from the army. They were looking for you. I said, well, yeah. I said, good. I'm glad that they came and they're gone. So I know they was going to come back. So my family, they convinced me that I should, turn myself in and go back. Now, Shirley Chisholm, who had became my godmother when I was with, Mayor Lizzie, I used to deliver her paper by being a machine operator. All her work I used to have to deliver to her on St. Mark's, right? So, she had like adopted me, as, she from the island also, So anyway, make a long story short, she's running for president, and one of her stops, I don't know how it happened, but she she stops on the military base to deal with the military. And the general at that time was General Cooksey. You know, always look up some, you know, names that I say. General Cooksey was the general. And by this time, after I had turned myself in, let me backtrack. After I turned myself in, I told him they made me a drug addict and I need to start a drug program. So I started a drug program called the Dick's House. The Dick's House. You can look it up. So she came, and that was one of her stops. But she found that I was there from somebody.
What year did she run, or Shirley Chisholm? What year was that?
71.
That was
She
like
was running
70, 71. Yeah, I know it
70
was like right before I
from
was
that.
born. You know, I didn't pop
Oh
out
yeah,
until
that's when she
72.
started.
You know, I'm a
That was
72
that was
baby.
the election year.
Yeah,
70, yeah, 72.
72.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So from
Yeah.
I think 4 years, 68 to 72. So she was running there. So
Right. So let me ask you, when the father got killed in '69, uh, Robert Walker's Wisdom Body group, like what happened, like, you know, during that time, like, you know, did they feel the effects of his death? Like, you know, did they stop teaching, or did they do something else? Did they all go back into the mosque? What happened around that time in '69 after the father
well,
passed?
the first Muslims, otherwise known as God of this universe, they
Mm,
they just kept teaching. They kept teaching.
mm,
You know, they wanted to um, build the nation of first Muslims. That was the plan.
right.
The plan was, and
Mm,
I was. That's you know, time further into the history. I became
mm,
the minister of the first Muslim, minister Allah.
mm,
That's how that's how
mm,
that's how Minister Farrakhan knows me. I was the
mm.
Supreme Minister Allahmal Allah of the first Muslim nation. That, right?
Right. Well, and real quick, why did they call themselves the first Muslims? The first Muslim. They were 5%ers, but they called
No,
themselves the first
they
Muslims.
left the five to them. There was 5%. I always was a 5%. Never, you know, always been according to
Right,
the 16th
right,
degree. Yeah. So
right.
if you're dealing with 120, you have to accept
Mm,
that. Okay, you got 16, then you got um, what's the meaning of civilization? What's the duty of a civilized man? If a
mm,
civilized 19, if a civilized man does not perform his duty, what must be done? You got 20. What is the prescribed law of Islam of a said person without ability? Now, those degrees is what I base a lot on, you know, because
mm,
your it gives you your duty, right? It tells you what will happen if you don't perform your duty, right? Ezekiel 3,
mm.
verse 18 tells you, if I say unto the wicked, right,
The penalty.
okay?
Yeah.
Um, so it's very key. And then I learned about the prescribed law of Islam of a said person that ability that you'll be punished by the nation of Islam. So that, you know, we
Right.
have to go into those lessons one at a time to understand it to its clarity.
Mm,
You know, what does that mean to be punished by the
mm,
nation of Islam? So how is that? What's going to punish somebody? Who? Right? The nation of Islam is
mm,
more than one person. The nation of Islam is global. The punishment is that
Right.
you would self-inflict on yourself. Basically, you would, and you would punish yourself by doing all the wrong things, by eating the wrong foods, by smoking, drinking, chasing women. Okay? All of the wrong things. The prescribed law of Islam does not accept those things. Okay? Because it tells you in the knowledge born degree what will happen to you. Right? So it's all there. Now, I started the drug program called the Dick's House. Not me, but per se by myself, but because I demanded that, hey, they do something for soldiers that was coming from Nam addicted. See? So what happened, Shirley Chisholm, she, came on post. She saw that I was part of this situation with the drug program, and of course I hurry up and told her what they was planning to do to me. She says, don't worry. I said, okay. Then I knew I was all right. She spoke to the general, told the general that how are you going to give someone time when you all made him a drug addict? That's why he wants the drug program. So I think that you all should go ahead and put that. I was the first person in the drug program. Right? So General Cooksey comes in his helicopter, and then not with Chisholm. Chisholm came. I don't know how she got there with her vehicle of a convoy. And so Cooksey walks into the program. I have my legs on the desk, and he looks at me and he said, "Oh, you must be Allah." I said, "Yes." I said, "Surely, indeed so." He says, "Yeah, I can tell because you didn't snap to, he said, how the hell you don't snap to a general? People snap to lieutenants. They're locking low over there. Here, click, click, you know what I'm saying? I got my legs on the desk, dog. This man walks in, he walks in and looks at me and say, "Yeah, you got to be crazy. You're doing things that it don't happen. You're the first one doing this crazy stuff. So I said, yeah. Anyway, we read the program. We're trying to, I'm trying to finish the program, but I can't finish it. I gotta go home. I can't stay at the Dick's House. I was there for a little while.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's real interesting history, man. Like you mentioned you mentioned that about books and getting books like that. Did you back during that time come in contact with the older god Melchizedek? Because he had
Yeah,
like
he
a
used to be
bookstore that he used
Avenue.
to
Yeah,
sell
I met Manchester
books.
in June
Right.
'65. Matter of fact, between him and Hamza, this brother that was in the mosque named Hamza. Yes.
What do you think about what do you think about his comments that he said about just the Muslim God is a fantasy and is some of Wakil's foolishness, or what do you
He
feel
just
about
came and
those
sat by
statements?
me yesterday by the mosque, trying to ask me for some vest. I can show you the vest that he wants for me to bring to him. When I'm with Melchizedek, that's why I wanted to go on a bill with me in him, so that I can cut that shit up that he be talking.
Yeah, I wanted to actually get both of you on here together. That would have been beautiful if I could have got you and
He
him
know
on
that I
there,
don't want
but
to. When he start talking, stuff that is not right and exact, I'm going at him. You know, I'm
Mm.
at him. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Melchizedek trying to please. He's a pleaser of how can I put it? Whatever cipher he is being interviewed, you know, that's who he try to please. You know,
That's pretty much what I get too. I get to say I get that. You know, that he's pandering to whatever group, you know, like if he's, you know, on the NGE's platform, he's gonna pander to them and say what they want to
right.
hear about
Exactly.
the Muslim gods,
Now,
you know.
let me explain this thing with the Muslim gods. Okay, let's just go over
Hmm.
that a little bit.
Hmm. Yes,
When
sir.
in going into the mosque, going into the temple, as it was called at that time, going into
Hmm.
the temple. You know, so I might
Hmm.
use, you know, either one
Interchangeably,
interchangeably,
yeah.
right? So going in there, talking mathematics, you know, being told
Hmm.
that, man, you can't come in here talking that right now because that's just that's that's Clarence stuff. You know, that was Clarence thing. You know, knowing all the time,
Yes, sir.
I find
That's
out
what he
later
meant.
that the ministry class was given access to the lessons, right? So, but what happened when they
Hmm.
was denying me to teach because I can't help myself. I'm talking mathematics, you know,
Hmm.
as it is. Today's
Hmm.
wisdom, God, you know, the place the devil was
Hmm.
manufactured.
Hmm.
But anyway, um, you want to let's deal with Melchizedek a little bit because it's important. You know, me and him, you know, we
Hmm.
always have our conversations. You know, he said, "Well, God, why don't you do this? They're stopping you in the temple from teaching. You know, they don't. You the heaviest piece, but all you got is a title of, you know, you over the Bronx. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, he's always encouraging me to a degree, though. A lot of stuff that he's saying is
Hmm.
true, but he
Hmm.
don't
Hmm.
realize that I got to remain in a certain way. And even though I agree with Melchizedek on a lot of things that he says, you know, except of course when he starts criticizing this or that, or you know, but when I'm in the mosque,
Right.
I said, okay, being that I'm God and I'm becoming a Muslim, I'll be a Muslim God. So that name Muslim God started. I don't know if it was before me, but I know that, you know,
Hmm.
Wakil, I have told him that, you know, that
Hmm.
I said that in the mosque that I'm a Muslim God because I'm God. I was God body.
Hmm. Right. What year was this when
This,
you first
this is
proclaimed
'69
that?
when I went
What
into
year?
the mosque after I got my. See, before you got your ex, you just came to a class.
Hmm.
You wasn't, you know, you
Hmm.
wasn't with the registered believers that you know what I'm saying? Until you
Hmm.
got registered, that's when you had access to, you know, to the degree. So that 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 came, like I would say, did it come before I went into the military or after I came out the military? Because there's an area there. But the bottom line is that's something that was mentioned during the 70s, okay? Early
Hmm.
70s.
Hmm.
Uh,
Right. And just to add to what you're saying, I think in the theology of time, when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned the Muslim God, you know, in the deportation of the moon, where he mentioned it was a wise
right. He
Muslim
said the
God
first
that,
God,
you
yeah,
know,
the first God was a
wanted to,
Muslim.
you know, right, right. That I want to say that was in June
Mm,
1972, if I'm not mistaken. You know, which was, just to, add on to what you're
That's
saying,
right.
how,
That's right.
you was
That's
one of
right.
the first ones using that
That's right.
term,
Exact June.
Muslim
Yeah,
God.
it was in June because that's when I was. Yeah, that's when I
Mm-hmm.
was released officially from the military. As you will see, you need to see documents from me so that you know that the era and the dates that I spoke about is true. So that no one can say that it was not some. The history. The history has to be right and exact. So okay,
Right, in alignment.
so you
Yes, sir.
all these things you can see.
Yeah.
I have papers. I have my DD 214, and you'll see. I should get
Mm-hmm.
it next time because I know we got to do part 2, part 3, and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh yeah, yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir.
um,
Yes, sir.
the next bill, I will have those things, and I would read it to you. What it says, how many
Mm-hmm.
specification I had, how many summary court martial, and then the general court martial was when they was going to send me to Leavenworth. All that would be verified. Okay, so
Right, right, right,
go
right,
ahead.
right. Yes, sir. So, but yes, sir. But yeah, yeah, like I said, as far as the show that you and Brother Wakil, used to have on, because I know Melchizedek, I heard him mention that in, a bill that he had or interview where he was mentioning, yeah, they had a good thing going, but they stopped it, and I'm like, what you stop it for? They taking orders from people. That's why they stopped
Yeah,
it. Basically is what he was saying. Like y'all bowing
I,
down to
re-
somebody. That's why
I
you
remember
stopped it.
that. No, I talked to him about that. Uh, you know,
Mm,
Wakil, we interviewed many officials, top officials, stuff like that. And
oh yeah.
what he wanted to do, he was continuously. We interviewed Melchizedek twice. So,
Right. Yeah. 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 Y'all interviewed me. I remember that. I got an interview with you guys, you brothers.
so yeah,
Y'all interviewed a lot of people, man. A lot of good
yeah,
Muslim
that
gods.
it's important. But when somebody say that there's no such thing as a Muslim God, it's what they call it, oxymoron. You know
It's an
that
oxymoron.
listen, a Muslim by nature is a God. So you can't deny him calling himself
Mm,
a Muslim God. If you understand it the
right.
way that, because the Honorable Elijah, like you said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in Theology of Time said that. He said the first God was a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
See? So
Yes,
um, my
yes, sir.
travels with True Islam, you know, um, going to ATL, to his speaking engagements, going to the going to the
Mm-hmm.
rally, you know. There a lot was happening. A lot happened. I
Mm-hmm.
continue to stop by sometime, go there, you know. And the reason why
Mm-hmm.
I did not go there as frequently as I wanted to because I was always in meetings after the mosque. We had,
Mm-hmm.
officers meeting, and so it was difficult to make all the parliaments, but I continued making them.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
brother, a brother that
Yes, sir.
just died
Yeah.
recently, man. May he rest in paradise, man. You know, brother, I'm all Hobbs. His
Mm.
name was Hobbs. He used to work for me, you know, and unfortunately, he was supposed to come back and start to work, and he didn't show up. He didn't show up. And this is recently. You should know you
Mm-hmm.
know you should know about the God that called himself I am all.
From out
No,
of
he was
Brooklyn?
in Pelon. He's the one that did all the
Mm,
videotaping. He's the archives person
mm,
for the M.G.E. He just passed. I'm surprised
mm,
you know that, God. That went
mm,
all over the internet.
mm. I'll
Yeah,
probably have to
you need
look
to
him
look
up.
him
I'm
up.
not really
His name
sure.
used to be Kashim.
Yes, sir.
Kashim, then he changed it to Paul. Anyway, um,
Mm,
yeah, we stopped
okay.
in because the podcast that not that we ran out of people because I waited for
Mm,
Wakil. Wakil did Wakil
mm,
found everybody, that we was going to interview. I had
mm.
nothing to do with that area.
Right,
I just I just was a co-host.
right,
You
right,
know, I have keep the show
right,
going.
right, right.
It was a nice show. It was a good show, you know. But now,
Yes,
yeah,
sir. Yeah, yeah, it definitely
Wakil was
was. It
talking about
definitely
he wanted
was.
to take it to another level where we use modern equipment,
Mm-hmm,
stuff like that. But it
mm-hmm,
hasn't happened,
mm-hmm.
it hasn't happened. But
Yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah. I'll be trying to tell why he'll be wanting to do it big, and
yeah,
I'm just like, God, just do it. Even if it's small right now, let's just do it. The point is we're doing it. Yes, sir. I know
yeah,
the
that's
God,
what
he wants to
you
do
know.
it big, like from the first jump.
All of them, all the Muslim guys, they have a lot of respect for me because of my endurance. You
Yes, sir.
what I have achieved.
Yes, sir.
I started
Yes, sir.
6 study groups. You know, ain't nobody
Mm,
can say that. You know, but what happened every time
mm,
I was shooting to become a Mosque, I was always asked to come back to Manhattan
mm,
to help Manhattan. Now, wherever wherever this
mm,
video go out and um, this information is saying, because there's a saying, you know, don't take Mosque. How you got to speak the truth, of what happened. So I started. Yeah, it wasn't. It
yes,
was
sir.
I think five. I think 5 study groups,
Mm,
and
mm,
after the
wow.
Million Man March,
Right.
I had me me and me and Captain Dennis, you know,
Mm,
world renowned captain, and I'm his lieutenant, you know. He don't make no mistake about that,
yes, sir.
you know. That's what brother lieutenant, brother, when
Mm,
he come into town, he calls me, you know. That's something that he does. So, but
yes, sir.
we had a man's meeting, which is called after the Million Man
Mm,
March, and we used to have about 100 brothers right downstairs in this building that I'm in. Okay, in the community room, I have
mm,
access. You know, I teach the security class. I teach my security class down there every 2 weeks. That has been 2 weeks since I taught a class because
mm,
it's always some of the guards is not available. They're going to graduation, so I be I want full attendance so that I can teach proper handling of people, how to clean the building up. Now I can't.
mm,
How can I say it? It's hard for me to if I'm teaching lost founds. I don't have it like I used to, where that I had the F.O.I working. When the F.O.I when I had the F.O.I working,
right.
this area was spotless. That's because there's no fear from the God, because I taught that we are God. Make Don't make no mistake about that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you you are Muslim.
Uh,
You know, but you are hey God, you see, there is no mystery, God. Sometimes, you know, even in the nation, believers start getting spooky. Okay, there's a lot. You know, how can I put it? I want to hold off on that right now because
Right. That's a
yeah,
powerful, because
yeah,
that's a whole nother bill within itself. That's absolutely right. Before we close it out though, what would you, say about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? How do you view him, that man of God? We say he's the man of
well,
God. How do you view
I
that
view him
man?
as he is. You know, he like myself and all of us. You know, believe that he has a gift.
Hmm.
He's very, very gifted, very spiritual. He was able to sacrifice a lot. I remember um, when I first when I first met him. You know, I had a personal conversation with him. You know, when
Hmm.
he decided that he was going to rebuild the nation. A lot of people don't know about this history. You
Right.
know, it needs to be told. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. Continue though. I got a question
in
with
the
that, but I'm
fall of
glad you brought that up.
1977, there was a private meeting held at Baruch College. You know, you need to take some notes too, God, so you'll that so you'll know. So it
Hmm.
happened at Baruch College,
Hmm.
where the brother that I was working with, I was a security manager, you know, running a youth program, okay, called Youth Action.
Hmm.
Okay, Youth
Hmm.
Action was founded by this brother named Elijah Etheridge. Okay, is
Hmm.
a Muslim. He loved the nation, but he was with the wildest community. Right? So
Okay. Okay.
he was able to put that together. The private meeting was you have to be invited to this meeting. So the minister wanted to talk to those that he felt would help him if we felt that he was sincere. So he
Hmm.
spoke to the audience, you know, explaining what he wanted to do,
Hmm.
uh, you know, to get the books back. He spoke about the dentist,
Hmm.
you know, Salam. He, you know, he spoke about what he went through prior to fall of '77. You know, he expressed
Right.
he did became a hypocrite to to a
Right.
degree.
He
Yeah.
deviated it for a
So
minute.
anyway,
Yeah.
after that
Mhm.
meeting, I said, you know what? Yeah, I'm first Muslim. You know, I'm still first Muslim. I'm still
Mhm.
5%.
Right.
That doesn't go nowhere. See,
Right.
a lot of people don't understand that. Well, you can't
Right.
be both. Man, I'm all in all. See? I'm all in all. So anyway, let me just share what happened.
That's right.
So after the meeting, that's when me and him had a conversation. I said, I said,
Hmm.
I said, beloved brother minister, you know, do you know that you the apostle? You know, he smiled and he says, how are you? How are you, brother? You know, I said, I'm okay, but I want to invite you. I want to invite you to a college campus for your first speech. You know, so he says, what school are you talking about? I said Brooklyn College. So he smirked, in a way, because it's a Jewish school. He said, how you going to get me? He said, brother, are you serious? He said, but listen, I see that very, you know, your demeanor is, you're very serious about your invitation. So if you can get me to come to Brooklyn College, I'll come. But that was something that, you know, I mean, it was something that he didn't believe that was going to happen. So I went to work. I went to work, and May 1971, I was able to bring the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan to Brooklyn College, his first major address. Okay, so before he spoke, the title that I gave him to speak on was "Who is the Original Man?" I had some of the staff, especially the staff that I had, you know, in my hand, you know, the what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she was in charge of the monies, that department, right? Yeah. So
Charity, yeah.
yeah, no,
Tides.
and whatever the school, whatever you get, you know, your student loans and all that stuff, it'll come back to me. Sometimes I get that senior moment. I guess it, you know, it's gonna be a lot of those, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I've been through a lot, man. When you hear about some of my hospitalization and what I end up beating, you might cry, but it's a reality, man. That I beat a lot of things. You know, yeah. So at the beginning, before the auditorium, you know, got to where we felt that it was decent enough for him to start, me and him spoke for about an hour. His conversation was about the first Muslim. He said, y'all got some heavy, you know, attributes. Where y'all get that from? You Allahmal Allah. This one here is God Allah. This one here is organic Allah. Imminent wasn't there. Imminent Allah wasn't there. Merciful wasn't there. Beneficent wasn't there. They was all you know, doing time. Anyway, so it was Gala and organic was helping me. You know, you saw the picture, right?
Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
remember. I was about to say. I remember you posted
So
the picture.
we had to secure the minister, man, because the Jews at that time, it was the JDL, the Jewish. It was called the Jewish Defense League. They told me, if you bring Farrakhan on here, we're killing you. Hey, you know, that's what they did. That's how they spoke. They wasn't playing, you know. But I had a crew on campus. After the minister was finished, he said, you want to roll? You know, he asked me, did I want to roll with him because he's now headed down south. He knew I could. I said, I can't go, man. I got two families, man. I got Equasia and I got Jewel. You know, they're not going to allow me to go nowhere. You know, matter of fact, Equasia is the one that took care of all his paperwork. You know, getting him to the campus, or you know, the contracts and all that. So that was that was deep. You know, we spoke about plus lesson. He said, Allahmal, listen. And he said it at on the lecture. He said that he wanted me to help teach the believers the lessons. He said, but in our private meeting, he told me, he said, brother, you know, don't bring out those so-called plus lessons that you all got. You know, it's going to cause confusion. You know, and People ain't going to understand it, and it's, you know, it will just be a problem. You know.
My first time coming in contact with a brother from the Wisdom Body, Robert Walker's faction of Five Percenters. I was in federal prison. I was up in FC Alloretto, and I met a brother named Brother Malik, from out of Newark, New Jersey. And he was just, just telling me about, y'all, like how y'all used to build with the plus lessons. And he said, yeah, God, we used to be asking people like, we used to be talking about like, how many minutes per second does a turtle heartbeat? Yeah. I mean, how many eyes does a fly have, or how many? It was just like, and I was just like, what? But that was my first time ever hearing about Wisdom Body and Robert Walker, and and that wasn't until 2002, 2003. That was my first time ever hearing about that. Yes, sir. But I wanted to ask you though. You mentioned about the lessons and how you had students and stuff like that back during your time. During the time, I guess it would be late 60s, early 70s, one of those, probably, between the late 60s, early 70s. What was the atmosphere when, after the father died, or went back to the essence? Was it the Five Percenters? Did the brothers in the Nation of Islam had to come to the Five Percenters and get lessons? Because I hear that taught a lot of times, or said that, Minister Farrakhan, and then once he deviated and then the nation fell, but then when the nation, he decided to start back the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, well, they ain't had no lessons, so they all had to come to the Five Percenters. They had to come to the guards to get the lessons so that they could be able to start the nation back. What do you say to that?
I mean, think about this. Here's a man that traveled 9,000 miles. The name was Master Farad Muhammad. He woke up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is the first begotten of the dead.
Yes, sir.
The FBI, when they raided the messenger's house, took the lessons. So the government had the lessons, right? I'm just saying that just to bring you to this point. Now, everybody, when okay, let me put it this way. They was asking everybody, what you all gonna do? You all gonna come to the YFD community, right? For what? That's just before the minister, did what he did. So I said this was my response. I said, mathematics doesn't lie. I said, I would never leave mathematics for spookism. I was engraved hard, in the teachings and in the lessons. So nobody can come to me and say, come on, man, let's go over here, man. This is maybe, this happened for a reason, and that's why it happened, that, y'all come and be here. I said, no. So a lot of people don't know that I had confrontation with the top officials of YFD community, when I was in the Bronx.
Right.
They had cleaners. Anyway, so I don't want to go too much into that either, but the brothers, the God bodies that were in the nation, they had the lessons. I had the lessons. Many of us had the lessons.
Right.
Abdul Hafiz had the lessons.
Right.
Okay, so you know, um, Hawk, Minister Hawk had the lessons. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. It
Minister
wasn't. It
James.
wasn't
It was
necessary.
a lot of
You know,
brothers.
I'm not saying that some
Mm-hmm.
brothers that was interacting with the 5% wasn't, getting lessons,
Mm-hmm.
asking for lessons, because it wasn't being
Mm-hmm.
given by the nation. You know, see what I'm saying? To a certain point, till you get to a certain level,
Right. Right.
you know. But that's how that went. I think. What time is it now?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh
40.
wow. Okay.
Are
Yeah,
you
it's like
serious?
10:40. Yeah, we can get right.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man. Like I said, we'll
Good,
definitely get
good,
another,
good.
build in. I just wanted to get you, on here and just, just get some of the old school
Always,
wisdom of the older
always
gods, you know
be
what I'm
to
saying,
Allah.
who was
You know,
around that time,
I wanna, I really wanna
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
always give homage, man, to the father. For recognizing that he had a
Yes, sir.
job to do, which was to teach the babies. And
Mm,
so it,
yes, sir.
he was, he was right in the exact. Unfortunately, man, he got, murdered. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, as far as the discipline, and this is just me looking back at the situation now. I'm almost 50 years old, so it's like I could look back on the situation now, and the only thing I would just say is that I think, in my estimation, the father could have instituted more of the lessons when he took the lessons from the mosque and brought it to the streets to the young, youth. He could have brought the restrictive laws, or just some of the some of the general order, just something dealing with discipline. I think that would have given it a more longer longevity, in my opinion, because shortly after 1969, after the father returned back to the Essence, many of his youth,
yeah, that is
went
true.
back to the
You know,
streets. I
yeah,
mean,
man.
in droves.
A lot of us went savage. I mean, I put it that way. You know, but you
Oh
know,
yeah,
they,
yeah,
they kept the knife
yeah.
up
You
here,
know,
for future time. You know,
mhm.
which, which is where we built.
Right,
We
right.
started building from. But we have to deal with the whole drug
Yes.
history. My drug history. You know, I was what
Hmm.
was known as what you call those addicts. I was an addict that was able to be a school teacher. I was an addict that was able to be a
Hmm.
counselor. You understand what I'm saying? Right, the functional
You
addict.
was like
Right,
a
there you go.
functional, what they call like a functional.
Function.
Yeah,
Okay?
right, right, right.
And
Yes, sir. Yes,
until
sir.
one day I got up before going to teach. I taught special ed. Okay, I taught special ed for Grow
Hmm.
With Us. That was the name of the program. And
Hmm.
I was in the Bronx. I had made geography. They call it
Hmm.
making a geography change. From one borough to another borough, so that that can help you stop. Whatever. That's what it was called. But
Right, right. That's pretty much dealing with like isolation, kind of like, to
right,
isolate you from the area that you were used to, getting in
exactly,
trouble or getting
exactly.
high in, or
But
whatever the case may be.
I tell you, I
And
got up one morning
yes, sir.
and I was sick. I couldn't go because I used to be able to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
and after work I go do my business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when I started
Mm-hmm.
getting sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The
yeah,
heroin, pretty much, you get sick
yep.
if
So
you
I had to
can't get it.
one morning, man. I had to go find it before I went to work. And we'll talk about
Hmm.
that though.
Hmm.
We'll talk about, you know.
Yeah, yeah. We've all had our battles, with addictions. I remember,
Yeah,
I
okay.
used to play with my nose too, little,
But brother,
I used to, you know what I mean? Smoking woolies, and I've been through that stage, God. Allah's brought me back, alhamdulillah.
well, I
But
really
yeah,
want to
God,
thank you, man, for taking
praise
the
be to Allah,
time and have patience, man, to just
Yes, sir.
give the opportunity of the history. It's important. There's a lot more that
Yes, sir.
needs to know. So uh,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna give it. I'm gonna give it. If you ask,
Yes.
me, I'm gonna give it. Okay. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yes,
now,
sir. Yes, sir. MashaAllah. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely give you a buzz,
no
I
problem.
guess later on in the week, and like I said, we'll just connect, and I guess probably the next time either Wakil or one
Yeah.
of the brothers will probably join in with us or whatever. But yeah, God, definitely, man. I enjoyed the history, man. I enjoyed the bills, a lot of wisdom here.
Oh,
I can find out
yeah.
stuff, and what I'm
Remember this.
saying,
Now, I was
brothers
the
that was back
13th
then.
archangel, knowledge, understanding. Okay. I was the 13th archangel.
Mm,
Okay. So our flag was 13-point flag.
wow. Yes, sir. Wow. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, next time you come on, I want you to break that down. Break down the flag for me.
Right?
That's another thing when next time we build. You know what I'm saying? Inshallah,
Yeah.
But yes, sir, brother, I ain't gonna hold you no longer. Let me get ready so I can lay you down.
It's,
As
it's
always, it's been a pleasure,
definitely a pleasure
building
and an
with the
honor.
God.
So, it,
Yes, sir. And I always salute you, you know what I'm saying, for your great works and great
I,
efforts
I,
with the babies, cats like me,
yeah,
little young gods coming up in the game. You know what I mean?
there's a
Trying to
God
earn my stripes.
that you can put him on. Shabe, one of my good students,
Mhm.
is Shabe.
What's his
Yeah,
name?
Wakil
Shabe.
knows him. He's
Okay.
he
Okay.
talks here. He'll tell you things about me that I had forgot, God. But he know. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, that's Wakil.
Oh yeah.
Some of the
Matter of fact, see if you can link him up, and then what he's doing the next time, and
that's
we
not a
can,
problem.
jump on together or whatever, because you know
So
what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, yes,
same
sir,
to you.
brother. Well, enjoy the rest of your night. And again, it's been a pleasure. And I'll probably give you a buzz,
Okay,
like I
God.
said, later on in the
Peace.
week. I'll hit you up, God. All
Peace.
right. Peace to the Muslim God. Peace.